builder,
करके दिखाएंगे
Bob the builder.
हाँ भाई हाँ।
Hello. So we are back with a LeetCode daily questions. और मुझे पता है बहुत दिन में क्वेश्चन आया हुआ है. You can see the setup has changed a lot. So yeah, new beginnings I guess. तो बहुत इजी क्वेश्चन लेंगे क्योंकि फ्रैंकली स्पीकिंग मैं भी डीएसए भूल गया हूँ यार. बहुत टाइम हो गया डीएसए पढ़े हुए. तो I'm also making a new start. I'm revisiting the whole DSA thing. You will see that in the channel. So let's begin with today's question. And today's question is rotate string. तो string है, उसको घुमाना है. It's pretty simple actually. तो देखते हैं क्वेश्चन हमसे बोल क्या रहा है. तो क्वेश्चन हमसे बोल रहा है कि हमको दो स्ट्रिंग्स दी गई हैं, एक S और एक गोल. दो स्ट्रिंग्स हैं, एक का नाम है S और दूसरी है गोल, और हमको रिटर्न करना है. तो जिस क्वेश्चन का रिटर्न टाइप है वो ट्रू या फॉल्स है, और हमको रिटर्न करना है ट्रू सिर्फ और सिर्फ तब जब हम S स्ट्रिंग को रोटेट कर पाए और गोल आ पाए. तो अगर हमारा जो भी S स्ट्रिंग है, suppose this is a S string, and if we perform the operation rotate on it and we get goal, then and then only we have to return to true. And this rotate operation, it can be performed n times. Okay, so let's see how is it going to be done. तो एग्जाम्पल देख लेते हैं. अच्छा हाँ, उससे पहले रोटेट कैसे होना है. रोटेट यानी शिफ्टिंग. तो हाउ शिफ्टिंग इज गोइंग टू वर्क. फॉर एग्जाम्पल, if I have four letters A, B, C, D, so shifting would typically comprise of making the first letter and putting it in the end. How? In this I have A, B, C, D. So if I take A from here to the end, then it will be shifting of 1. Okay? That's how it's going to work. Now, let me give you another example of shifting. Suppose I have this word Ayann, and this time I am going to explain you shifting from backward. In this question it's said from forward, but I'm going to explain you from backward as well, so that later, that if you come across examples of shifting from other side as well, that you are very clear. So here I have Ayann, that is me, and we are doing backward shifting. So we are taking the rightmost letter and putting it in the front of the word. So here in Ayann I took N and put it in the first of the word. So I got Naya, N-A-Y-A. N came in first. Then in the second shift I will again do the same operation, and I'll take the A and put it in the first of the word. So A will come in front of N. So N-A-Y remains constant. A comes in the front. So it becomes Ane. And then in the third shift I take the Y, and again I'll put it in the front of A and A. This remains at its place. So it becomes Yana. And in the fourth one I take the A and I put it in the front. So you can see that I did this operation 4 times and I got my original string back. So that means after certain number of rotations you get your original string back at some point. Okay, and what is the observation here? That if the length of the string is n, then after n rotations I get the original string back. Suppose my name, it has 4 letters, A-Y-A-N. So after 4 rotations you can see 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3 and 4, I got the original string back. So yes, so this is the observation I have in this question. Now I have to see that what is the given word that I have to see in the rotations. So in the example here the string is ABCDE and the goal is CDEAB. So you can see in the given example A, B, C, D, E, if I do, the rotation here is front to back rotation. Yes, yes. So in the front to back rotation, if I do, A goes at the back, so the word becomes B, C, D, E, A. One more rotation, I get C, D, E, A, B. Is this the goal word? Yes, this is the goal word. Hence, for this example of this use case, I will return true. This is another example, A, B, C, D, E, and you can see the positions, the relative positions of the letter has changed in this example. That no matter how I rotate, this goal will never come. So hence I'll have to return false here. Now, what is the common intuition to do this question? I have a string, I rotate it n times. If any of those times I get my resulting string equals to the goal string, then I will return true. If I return to my original string, then it will be false. And when do I return to the original strings? After rotating the number of times, that is the length of the string, that is n times. So initially I will just keep the length of the string and I'll rotate the given string that number of times. If I get the goal string, I'll return true. If I don't, I'll return false. Simple enough, right? Yes, there's one more constraint. Since it's an easy question, n will always be 100. If you increase the difficulty of the question, maybe at some point n can increase so that you cannot keep rotating that much. But here n is very simple. That's why it's an easy tag question on the LeetCode. Now let's continue. So for the simplest intuition, here's the code. See, I'm directly giving you the code because it's not very difficult. We'll just go through the steps that I told you in code. So I have been given a public boolean rotate string function that I have to populate from the given code, and in this the input is string s, that is the string that's given to me, and the goal string using which I have to check the string. So simply I'll take int n. In this I'll take the length of the string. I'm going to tell you something that's very important for the whole DSA thing when you're doing Java, and something I really found confusing during my runs of the thing, that when you're using arrays, you can use length, array.length, and you don't have to use parentheses. But when you are using strings, you have to use parentheses because the length that is used with strings is a method, and with array it's already one of the attributes. Array is an object. The objects have attributes, right? So yes. Also, if you're using array lists or the collections, Java collections, then you'll be using size method. You will use the array list name dot size method. So this is something that you guys should remember. This I found this very helpful in my run, so I'm telling you the same thing. And sometimes I get confused. That's why I'm also telling you this so that you remember while writing code. So coming back to the example, first I take the length of the string s. This is the number of times I want to rotate the string. So I'll use the for loop. One more thing, if the length of the goal and the length of the string given is different, then it's a no-brainer. No matter how many times you rotate, you can never get the goal string, right? So this is a case that I have written here, that in case this happens, usually this should not happen in any of the test cases, but in case this happens, a good developer takes all of the faulty inputs in account. By that sense, I should have also taken that the string might be some other characters, numbers or something, but this is one of the edge cases that you can consider beforehand. It's just good code writing practices. So yes, I will run a for loop for the given length, for the number of rotations I want to make. And how am I making rotations? Rotation making is pretty easy. I'll use two of the string functions that are given to me by Java itself. So what is that I'm doing? I'm taking the substring of whatever s word I was given. So I'm taking this much substring, and how do I do that? I use the given word and make the substring of it at the first index. So I get the substring BCDE, and then I add the character in the 0th index at the last. So I take the substring and then I add the character at the last. I take the substring from one and then I add the character from the last. It's simple. इसके बाद हम देखते हैं कि अगर ये बराबर हो गया then it's true. अगर ये बराबर नहीं हुआ तो I'm checking if it's true for all of the cases. अगर किसी में बराबर नहीं हुआ तो I will simply come out of the loop and I will return false. Simple enough. So this was the most basic approach that you could have got for this question. But when you put in this approach now, the solution is accepted because it's an easy question. But it says that the solution is not very optimized. And there is a basic observation here that you should know, because since it's a very easy question, the interviewer will be expecting you to give better answers to this question. So फिर better answers कैसे दोगे तुम? Oh, I will come to the better answer approach. Okay, now for the better answer approach, look at this example. I have a string called ABCD. Forget whatever is written. Cool, cool. So I have a string ABCD. Now I do the front rotation, simple front rotation on the string. What will happen? BCD will remain its place and A will come here. So if I keep writing the string that was here, that was rotated, I'll write it in blue color. Okay, so A was here and then it went here. Cool, cool. Then I keep doing the same thing. Next time I rotate B, so it will become C D A B. And what were the strings that were in the front? The strings in the front were A and B. So you can see I can keep doing the same operation for the whole length of the string. Again, what is here? D A B C. Because DAB remains intact, C comes in the end. And in the starting, what was there? There was initially A, there was B, and there was C, right? And again, I'll do the same thing. Now the string becomes D will go at the end, D will go at the end. So the string becomes A, B, C, D again. But what was in the front? That was gone from here. A, B, C was here earlier and D was here just now and it has gone to the back. So you see that by the time you're doing the complete rotation, the whole thing becomes ABCD, ABCD. The part that has moved is ABCD, which is pretty logical because you're shifting one by one. What is interesting is any rotation combination of ABCD that you can make will be a substring of this particular string. This particular, you can see, let's try to find whatever combinations we made. We had ABCD. Does this ABCD have ABCD? It has ABCD. We had BCDA. Does it has BCDA? Yes, it has BCDA. You can see BCDA. Does it has CDAB? Yes, it has CDAB. Does it has DABC? Yes, it has DABC. So all of the possible combinations of the substrings that we have are already there. So instead of manually rotating, we can simply check that after rotating S, whatever combinations are formed, do they exist as a substring of this particular string ABCD ABCD? That is simply repeating the string twice. So I'm taking the main string and I'm repeating it twice, and any possible combination that can be made by rotating the string, first string, will be a substring of this. So I don't have to check by manually rotating my substring. I can simply go that whatever substring you give me of whatever rotation you give me of my main string, I'll simply say, does that belong to this string that I've made, that is concatenation of the main string? And I can give you the answer. So that becomes a one-step process. Earlier, it was a O of n process, where n was 100, not very high, but still it was a O of n process. Now, it's not even a O of n process, it becomes a O of 1 process. I know contains must be doing some internal thing to give us how that does the substring contain this particular string, but yes. So if I look at the code of this one, I can simply give my check I give first s dot length is it equal to goal dot length, and after this I can simply check s plus s does that contain the goal, because goal is nothing but some possible combination of s if it returns true. If it returns false, goal can be anything. So yes, so if this condition returns true, this becomes a one liner code और ये बहुत आसान हो जाता है. So yes, that is it for this question. This is the easiest approach that you can go for this question. Homework for this question and things you can read on your own, or maybe I'll make a video on them later. If no, there will be a video of them earlier. So things on them were, you can do them by KMP algorithm, and I guess there's something called the Rabin-Karp algorithm. These are algorithms for string matching. So you can see how these algorithms can be used. The code is very complex, but if you know these algorithms can be used in many more questions related to strings, and these are very good string related algorithms. So please look into these, and that is it for today's questions. I'll see you in the next one, and thank you. Bye bye.
Try to play, but you're never gonna beat me. Look the other way, what I'm doing ain't easy. Bloody hands stained from the people who deceive me. Muddy hands break through the chains, go free.